Hi guys, today we are going to be doing multi-step equations. First thing you are going to do is combine like terms. Okay, all that means is to put together like letters. Then we are going to isolate, big fancy word, the variable to solve the equation. That just means get letter by itself. Oops. Start over on that. By itself. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do this word problem. Calvin goes shopping over a weekend and buys a new pair of shoes. Now I always underline the important stuff. So a new pair of shoes, a shirt, a pair of sunglasses, and a hat that costs $9. That's important. We know how much the hat is. The shoes are twice as much as the shirt. Okay, twice is important, shoes is important, and shirt's important. And the sunglasses are half as much as the shirt. Our total is $65. So now they just want us to fill in the information. So when I fill in the information, I'm going to put down what I know. I know the total was $65. I know the hat was $9. I don't know anything else. So let me ask you, do we know the cost of the shirt? We know that the shoes were twice as much as the shirt and the sunglasses were half as much as the shirt, but do we know the cost of the shirt? No. So here we're going to make a little legend. S equals cost of shirt. Okay? So that means our shirt is S. Our shoes are twice as much as the shirt. So twice means 2 times S, and sunglasses are half as much as the shirt. Now it says, using the lines above, write an equation, we did, that represents S, the cost of the shirt. Look, we wrote that right there. Now we're going to simplify it. Okay, so I'm going to go circle everything that has an S. So that's going to be 2S, an S, and a half S. So, first of all, now 9 and 65 don't have S's, so we can't put them with this part. How many shirts do we have? We have one shirt, okay? So I'm going to put a 1 in front of there. So then that's 2 plus 1 plus a half, okay? So that's 2 plus 1, so that's 3. And I know a half is not a repeating decimal. If I wanted to be sure, I would go 1 divided by 2, and it's 0.5. So I can write it as a decimal. Now you cannot write it as a decimal if it is repeating. And then I'm going to bring down my 9 and my 65. All right. We've written the equation with everything combined. Now the next step, it wants us to solve it. So when I go to solve it, I'm going to do it in pencil in case I make a mistake. Okay, so I have that. I'm going to subtract 9. Remember, get rid of the number with no letter first. That goes away. So 3.5s equals 56. And then my last step, that's multiply. So my last step is divide. Okay, so 56 divide by 3.5 is, so my shirt cost $16. Okay? So this part down here, they want us to tell us how much each thing is. So our shoes are twice as much as our shirt. So that's 2 times 16. So that would be $32. Our sunglasses are half as much as our shirt. Okay, so if you're not sure what that is, we're going to go 1 divided by 2 times 16, and that is 8. Okay, we are done with that one. All right, moving on. So I'm not going to do number 4. I'm going to go to number 5. So on number 5, the main thing you need to remember when you're putting together your like letters, the sign that is in front of the number or the letter goes with it. Okay, so I'm going to circle minus 8p. If you remember back to 7th grade, keep, change. That's really plus a negative. Okay. Then on this one, I'm going to circle that. So when I come over here and I put it in the calculator, I am not going to put minus 8. I'm going to put a negative 8. Because remember, a minus sign is really plus a negative. So negative 8 plus 6.75. And that is negative 1.25 p equals 10. And I'm going to bring down my 15. Okay. Now you could put plus a negative here or not, because minus and plus and negative are the same thing. So now my next step is to get rid of the number with no letter. And that's on the same side as the variable. So negative 15, those go away. Negative 1.25p equals negative 5. Divide by negative 1.25. So now I have p equals negative 5 divided by negative 1.25, and that is 4. And there is your answer. Okay, I'm going to do number 6. So on number 6, again, let's put together what we can. The sign that's in front of it is attached to it. It goes with it. So I'm going to circle the sign and the number. So I'm going to circle both of those. And then I'm going to box my numbers with no letters. Now I'm going to go put together what I can. So now remember, a minus sign is really plus a negative. So I'm going to do negative 5 plus 7. And I get 2. So this is 2w. And then I'm going to do 18 and a negative 4, which is 14. Now I can solve it. Okay, so 2w equals 14 divided by 2. So w equals 7. And box your answer. All right, I'm going to do number 8. And I'm doing it because it's written backwards. So again, circle what's important. Okay, and so that is 9w plus 8.5 equals negative 14. All right, so now I want to be working with on the side that has the variable, which is this side. I want to get rid of the number that doesn't have the variable. So I'm going to get rid of this first. So that's 9w equals, and then I'm going to go negative 14. Remember, this is your negative down here. Negative 14. And you can either do a minus 8.5 or plus a negative. I'm going to do plus a negative. Plus a negative 8.5. And that's negative 22.5. Okay. Now I am going to go divide. Okay, so I'm going to do negative 22.5 divide by 9, and I get negative 2.5. So W equals negative 2.5. All right, one more. Okay, this one we are talking about perimeter. It also tells us the perimeter is 65 inches. So remember, on perimeter, that's the distance around. So if this is 2x, that means this is 2x. And if this is 3 1/4 x plus 1, so is that. Well, since we've already learned the distributive property, I'm going to use that to solve this because we have 2 of these and we have 2 of these. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to write it small, 2 times 2x plus, now 3 1/4. That's really 3 times 4 plus 1. So that's really 13/4, right? So I have 2 times 13/4 x plus 1 equals 65. Now 2 times 2, that's 4x. And then I'm going to go on my calculator and do 2 times 13 divided by 4, and I get 6.5. Now I can leave it, oops, look, I made a mistake. I can leave it at 6.5 because it wasn't repeating. See how 0.5 is not repeating? And then don't forget to multiply your second one like I almost did. All right, so now we're going to put together what we can, which would be our 4x and our 6.5x. So when I put those together, I'm going to get 10.5x plus 2 equals 65. Then I'm going to subtract 2. And I am going to get, those go away, 10.5x equals 65. And then I divide. And when I divide, I am going to get x equals 6. All right, so now we know x is 6. We've only solved half the problem, though. Now we need to know the dimensions, okay? The dimensions, then, if you ever go to like a hardware store like Lowe's or Home Depot, if you're in the wood section, it's going to say a board is 4 by 16 or 4 by 8. That means it's 4 inches wide and 8 feet or 8 inches long, or it might be feet or whatever you're looking at. So they always only write 2 numbers. So I am going to write, I'm going to do it for this one. 2 times 6. So that's 12 and it's inches. So 12 inches by, and then when I do this one, I'm going to use the 13/4. So 13/4 times 6 plus 1. So then go on your calculator. 13 divided by 4, 6 plus 1 is 20.5. Now I put an X there because that means by. So like if you go to the store and you look and it's a 4 by 8, that would be 4 feet by 8 feet. Okay, or a 2 by 8 would be 2 feet by 8 feet. Okay, and that's what they're saying here. All right, so that is all that I am going to do today. If you have questions, you need to ask us tomorrow. And that is it. Have a great evening.